Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Well, it's Monday here. I have been talking with the wonderful Val Rogers, who is the editor and producer of that wonderful online magazine, Bears and Buds. And we're talking about helping people that are starting out in bear making and starting to get their work together to start their own bear making business, I guess, or just to start to do stuff that they are able to sell. So I thought I'll do a series, and then I'm going to post it here. I'm asking if you have any questions as a new bear maker, not just about actually like making the little guys, not just about that, but about the whole process of getting your bears to a point where they can go onto online shows and other things like that. So I thought we'd just go through that first. So first and foremost, if you are wanting to start to do online shows, is that you need to be doing your own work. Morning, Cheryl. What do I mean? I mean, it's best that you are not using someone else's pattern to make bears from to sell for yourself. So you're better off learning how to develop your own patterns. So starting to make your own patterns. The reason being, when you are using someone else's work, you need to give them credit. You need to make sure that if you have used somebody else's pattern to make a bear and you sell it, number one, you need to get their permission, because it's actually against copyright law. And number two, you need to make sure that when you do get their permission, because most people are pretty cool about it, you need to give them credit where credit's due. So if you are selling a bear that someone else is from someone else's pattern, you need to say, this pattern is handmade by whoever from whoever's pattern it is you're using. That's only fair, because we all work really hard on developing our different patterns. So that's number one. But my advice would be, take the time to actually sit down and design your own pattern. I can help you with that. I can do some videos on how to design your own patterns and how to go from that. Happy to do that if that's something people are interested in. More than happy to help you do that. But it is really important. It means you are free then to just sell your work whenever you want to. If someone says, oh, I really love that, you don't have to go and get permission, and then you can go, yep, sure, it's in my own work. So it's a thing that you need to develop first and foremost when you start to sell your own work. You must have your own patterns. It's just vital. So hopefully that makes sense and doesn't put anybody off. It's fine to sell other people's work. You just, like I said, need to give them credit where credit is due. So that's the first port of call. So when I first started to, and someone, actually it was Michelle Nunnery, who actually was on a live feed with me one day and saw some of my bears behind me on a shelf and said to me, what's going on here? Why aren't you selling these bears? Who made those bears? I said, well, I make them. She said, well, why aren't you selling them? I said, it had never occurred to me, because I'm a teacher. I'm not actually a qualified teacher. I actually teach people bear making. So it's a very different headspace to start selling your own work. So it had never occurred to me. And she pushed me, God love her, to sell my own stuff. So that's another part of my journey and my story. So, but you do need your own patterns. So that's where I started. But one of the first things I did was I took myself off and did not do. First of all, I did a whole load of different people's patterns: Monica Spicer, Helen Gleason, Kim Russell, Jenny Boylan. I did a whole load of bears from their patterns and learned what I liked and what I didn't like from each one. And then I spent, then I stopped ever making anybody else's patterns and just worked on developing my own. And it took some time to develop my own. And like I said previously, it was a labour of love, because you have to just keep going until you find your niche. And I was bullied a little bit around that time as well. Since then, the people group that have come back and apologised, but yeah, that's a whole other story. You then develop your own style from there, and you will find, and I think I was just talking to Jasmine Williamson the other day, and she was saying, every time I do a bear, it gets better, and that's it. That's the key. Every single time. It doesn't mean that the bears you first made aren't worthy of being sold. They sure are. If someone's in love with a bear, they're in love with a bear, so it doesn't matter. But you do progress. But yeah, first and foremost, create your own patterns and start to work from there. So please send me some questions for things that you have. It doesn't matter what they're about. It also doesn't need to just be about bear making business. Any question that you need, not just about how to put a bear together, but marketing and creating websites, whatever it is you want the answers to, send me some questions. Val and I are going to work together and collaborate a little bit on that, and we will try to answer every single one of your questions and help you get to where you want to go with less bumps in the road. So take care. Make sure you stay safe and always be kind to each other.